is easier. And as we promised, we have Super Bowl champion.
Wow.
Greg Jennings in
Greg
studio.
Jennings.
And it's great to have him in here. He's still in great shape. You see him all the
He
time
old.
on FS1.
Greg, how old are you?
I'm 35.
He's young. You say he's still in great shape. You act like he's 55.
I'm just saying he retired.
No, but he retired young.
You could still
get
be
it.
playing in the
I get
NFL.
I could
mean,
still
do you
be
feel
playing.
You're right.
I definitely physically could still be playing.
You just retired of the nonsense?
Just mentally, I didn't want to do it anymore.
Right.
What
Like
was your
you grow beyond. You kind of you get over all the stuff, and you just want what's real. And when you get to the point where you recognize that there is no loyalty, and obviously you recognize that early, but I'm no longer with the franchise that drafted me, so now it's like a string along type deal where do you fit what we're trying to do? Can you offer us your talent but also your brain? And it was like, I don't feel like getting the rug pulled out from underneath me every single season or every other 2 or 3 years. That I'm done with that.
So who was some of the business of football?
I believe
that
it.
turned you
Oh,
on?
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not the game.
No.
Because it's like anything. I tell people this all the time. People say, oh, well, that's politics. Or, they always say, like, anything dealing with people is politics.
Right.
No question.
Even church. You know that, Chris.
Yeah, no, it's
You
true.
have people in there all supposed to be here for the same reason. Oh, how come she got this job? How come she's been – how come they got this? Because it's politics. People – this is how people operate. I don't care what job you're doing.
No.
Agreed.
Very, very true. Very true. Greg, you, of course, played with Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And the big game this weekend is Rodgers versus Brady, Packers versus New England Patriots. And all the talk has been about who's better,
No, this
Aaron
is so
Rodgers
easy.
or Tom Brady. Where do you fall in on this discussion?
And let me say this first before he answers. Greg Jennings is a forward, honest thinker. He's not some homer. He's a guy who thinks it out really well and delivers an honest opinion. I just respect him so much. Okay, go ahead, Greg.
Okay, I do. So this is a topic that irritates me to the core. Honestly, it really does.
It's what we do, though.
But
I know, but this
do.
is why it's like the Jordan.
Does that bother you, the Jordan
It
LeBron?
does. It really does because if we're comparing championships and Super Bowls, there's no question. If that's what the standard is, then there's no question. It's Jordan, clear cut, no debate, no conversation, and it's Brady, clear cut, no debate, no conversation.
It ain't about that.
But it's more. But
it is more.
But even like with Jordan, when I say Jordan's the GOAT, everybody says, well, just because he won 6 times. No, that's not the only reason. Championships are just part of it.
he did
That's what I'm
everything. Look
saying.
at his numbers.
I think he's better, period. But I could make a same argument for Brady. Like Brady has not had – you're a receiver. You're a really good receiver, so you can weigh in on this. I don't think Brady's had great wide receivers. And when he did, Randy Moss, he blew the record book out of the water.
But wait a minute, they lost in the
I
Super
get that,
Bowl.
but I'm just saying
What wide receiver?
50 touchdowns. I'm not saying he hasn't had good receivers.
No, I'm gonna pose this, including myself. What wide receiver that has Aaron Rodgers played with that's in the Hall of Fame?
None.
Okay.
None. I'll give you that.
How many?
None.
0. Like
This is the
throughout-
argument
So
that
same as
Like
Brady. Well,
no.
other than Randy Moss
I
with-
said play with. Period. Like in his entire career, he's never played with one. Correct. Not saying none of the guys were good, including myself.
right.
This is my issue. If we're going off of what you can do for me, and I'm starting a team, it is not even close. It's just not. Mentally, now that's a completely different conversation.
But that's a big part of it. You can't, right? That might be as big a part.
But it's not enough. It's not enough of an edge to Tom Brady in the mental compartment to where I can say, oh, man, yeah, absolutely, give me Brady. If I'm going tangibles, skill set, what they possess,
It ain't even close.
It's not
I
even
agree.
close.
And I think Tom Brady agrees. We've seen
And
quotes from Tom Brady where he agrees.
And if you, this is the thing, because we talk about this all the time. Here you are, you play with Aaron Rodgers. Shannon Sharp didn't play with them. Won 3 Super Bowls, 2 with a great quarterback in John Elway.
Mm-hmm.
He says he's never seen anybody throw the football the way that Aaron Rodgers and his skill set. I don't know what else you need.
You don't need
right?
anything. And for me,
but so are you saying Rodgers is the GOAT?
I'm not. That's a completely different conversation.
That's not about
All
accomplishment.
Right.
That's
all we
different.
care about is the
No,
GOAT.
no.
We're not dividing it into 7 categories. Best passer,
Aaron Rodgers
best
is the
scrambler.
best quarterback I've ever seen.
Yes, when you talk about the GOAT, then yes, you have to.
All right.
You have to embody everything.
All right.
Everything is underneath that umbrella, and Aaron Rodgers obviously hasn't accomplished enough. He just hasn't.
Right.
He doesn't have the accolades. He doesn't have the Super Bowls. He doesn't have the Super Bowl appearances.
Right.
Just leave it at that. But when I look at all of this, like today, debating, is Bill Belichick the difference? I say yes.
Yeah, because he cheats.
It's not even that, Rob.
Belichick's a great. I think he's the best coach ever.
He can't be the best coach ever because he got busted for cheating.
Hold on.
That has to count against him.
Sure he can.
No, it can't.
It can still count against him.
So let me pose it. So let me pose this question to you: If Aaron Rodgers had Belichick, and Tom Brady had Mike McCarthy,
no, I look.
Is there a difference?
There's
There
a
is a
quote
difference.
that came out where Tom Brady apparently told another coach in the NFL, ESPN.com, Ian O'Connor.
Ian O'Connor's book.
He said, Brady said, Aaron Rodgers is so much more talented than me. If he was here in New England, he'd throw for 7,000 yards.
Yeah.
So I get that. But the one thing I want to bring, because I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. I love Aaron Rodgers. And I agree he's the best I've ever seen. Just
he can
from
do
a
everything,
pure,
skill set, right?
But the one
Everything.
question I want to throw at you, Greg, I think when it comes to the intangibles, treatment of teammates, leadership, I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers isn't a good leader, but Brady, I think, has him cooked in the intangibles. You played with him. Am I wrong?
I would not disagree with that.
And that's a huge part of being a quarterback.
And I've been in the locker room with Aaron, and I had an amazing relationship with Aaron until I spoke truth. And then I would love to be able to sit down with Aaron and still continue that relationship. But it's truth. Truth hurts.
Right.
Truth hurts. And I'm not saying he's a bad teammate, but from the things that I hear about Tom Brady and knowing Tom Brady myself, like, he's just a good dude. Like, that's just fact.
And that's a big part of the quarterback, a winning Super Bowl winning quarterback. That's a huge part of the equation.
I would be a good dude too if the luck always rolled for my favor. If every time I played a Super Bowl, something would happen and it worked
like
out
you
for
throw
me.
for 500
no,
yards.
like John Casey kicking the ball out of bounds for the Panthers.
Okay, so
I could just go on and on and on about those games, about the Atlanta Falcons leading 28-3, about the Atlanta Falcons having the ball 1st and 10 at the 22.
Yeah, but
in field goal range.
Tom Brady
right?
led a comeback.
No,
you want to
but
take that from me?
But if you kick the field goal, you're up by 11. Tom Brady can't beat you. You have the best running back in the league at the time, Marshawn Lynch, right? You're at the one in that. Greg, if you were on that team, you would have. Don't tell me you wouldn't have gone crazy. Like, what are we doing?
No,
really?
I understand. I understand all of that. But for me, I'm not going to sell Tom Brady short. I'm not going to undermine what he's been able to do.
You.
Now, if I'm not at all just going to just hand the trophy to Aaron Rodgers and say, yes, you would be the best
I'm not
ever.
saying that.
Because Tom Brady, the way he approaches his work, the way he approaches the game, the way he approaches everything, there's greatness in him.
But they went 10 years without a Super Bowl. People forget that stretch.
No,
do you remember that?
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers has
They
gone 9 without even getting there.
No, but I'm trying to say, like, when you look at Brady's career and they talk about this stretch, there was 10 years they didn't win a Super Bowl. And
so then
Baltimore
then he
came
won 5.
up there and beat them
he
twice
won 5
in Foxborough.
in the other 8.
But he's always
Mark
been
Sanchez beat him in Foxborough.
But he's always been relevant. He's always been there. And is like that with LeBron.
Hugh Jackson obviously just fired by the Cleveland Browns.
Just fired bombs to the whole Cleveland organization.
Right. He sat down with Mary Kay Cabot, beat writer for
Long
Cleveland.
time.
Yes, for Cleveland.com. And he said plenty. One of the things he said is I know I would have turned our offense around, meaning if he had taken over play calling, he would have turned it around. I'm going to give you another quote because he threw the front office under the bus. He said, we passed on 3 franchise QBs the first 2 years in Carson Wentz, Deshaun Watson, and Patrick Mahomes.
Wow.
We played with a QB room with 0 wins in the league. We played with street free agents and practice squad players and wide receivers. Yet our offense was the same or better than what we were doing this year. There is no way that should happen. I don't know how well you know Hugh, if you know him at all, but obviously you know of him having been in the league when he's been a coach and stuff. What do you make of what Hugh's saying? Does he have a point, or is this sour grapes?
I'm sure he has a point, and I've been there when you've been outed and you feel some type of, you're in your feelings. Like I get it.
Kiki.
I'm keeping it 100. Like he's in his feelings right now. He feels like, I do believe, however, he would have turned them around. I think that the Cleveland,
if he had taken over the play calling,
I do think that he would have helped. He's a great play caller. And I think that with the way they were performing, it wasn't as if they weren't playing hard for him. It wasn't as if he had lost the locker room. I think also that when it's hard for me to fathom, like, letting a guy go that has control over the guys.
Right, he hasn't lost the team.
He hasn't lost a team, and you've won, which is something you hadn't done. And it's like they have to learn how to win. So that's a season of itself.
But Greg, isn't it a situation, and let's just be honest, we know how this league operates. Once you hire a new general manager,
no question,
and he's not, you're
not his guy.
You're not his guy. We saw it happen in Detroit, right? Jim Caldwell took the Lions to the playoffs 2 out of 3 years, and they sent him packing because the general manager, what's his name? I just forgot his name.
I can't think of it.
But he wanted his own coach.
He wanted a guy from the Patriots. Who came from the Patriots. And no matter what he did, he was going to go get his own guy. And that's what happened in Cleveland. They set him up to fail. They never really wanted to keep him. If you don't get fired,
but they didn't have
after
to
going
keep
one,
him.
no, but I'm just saying.
In fairness, they did. Look, I agree with you for the most part.
They set him up
but
to fail.
They did keep him. I think ownership legitimately liked you.
I think so too.
Right? And they said, look, we're going to give him a shot.
Because you don't keep him
right
when you've made that much change, that turnover. When John Dorsey comes in, he has every right to say, look, I'm going to go get my own guy.
Yep.
But I feel like they thought, okay, let's give Hugh one more opportunity, or
now
7 games, 8 games.
I think the expectations.
Bob Quinn is the GM.
The expectations were unrealistic. Like, what he would have had to do to keep his job was probably unrealistic. But they did give him a shot.
They never wanted him to be the coach.
I don't think it was unrealistic. I think that they wanted Hard Knocks. Let's face it.
That didn't help.
It did not help at all.
No,
it did not help him whatsoever. It really exposed him and really shined a light on them making them right, almost, or warranting this release and this firing of Hugh Jackson, because, well, I mean, he was all about himself. He always was driven.
They did come off with the ego.
It was like, man, now you get up on the podium and now it's like, I'm the head coach.
Right.
You don't have to keep saying that.
No, man.
You got the job, right?
Yes. You gotta
if
be
he hadn't been on
you
Hard Knocks and we hadn't seen it week after week or episode after episode, we wouldn't have known. When he said that at the podium, nobody would have associated with this dude's tripping. They would have just said, okay, that's what he said. That you never were on Hard Knocks.
No.
What do players think about that?
A lot of players like it
because you get some shine.
A lot of players like it because you get that shine.
How much money do they give you?
I'm not sure.
There's got to be a stipend.
I'm not sure, but a lot of players don't like it because anytime you put a camera in someone's face, you're going to get a different person.
Right.
And players feel like, man, now I got to deal with coach being different because the camera's in his face.
Put on the show. We are joined in studio by Super Bowl champion, Fox Sports NFL analyst Greg Jennings. He's dropping all sorts of knowledge on the NFL. We're going to continue to get into that. We're also going to get into some basketball talk with Greg. He's a huge NBA fan, and from what he tells me, he was a great high school basketball player too. All-state point guard, is that?
I was also.
Don't be humble. Don't be humble.
He could throw a baseball too. I was there when he threw out the first pitch at Comerica Park. You remember that?
You see that?
I was there.
You see that?
You don't remember? I was there.
I've done a couple of those, man. Strikes.
Did you play baseball in high school?
Oh, absolutely not.
You did.
I don't mess with the baseball.
Really?
But
I'm an athlete though.
All right.
So it doesn't matter, right?
But I'm honestly, true story. I'm scared of a baseball.
No, I get it.
Did you work on before you threw out the first pitch? Did you work on it?
For that one, I did. That was my first time
That was the first one at Comerica.
So, and you start watching all these videos of everybody throwing them in the dirt, and you like, man, I can't. You for whatever reason.
Did you see the one?
No, as an athlete, you don't want to go out there
50
like
Cent at City Field.
Oh my goodness!
You were like, dude, have you ever touched a ball? Like,
Oh
did
my
you see the way he
God.
50
doing?
Cent. Remember, was there a mayor?
The mayor of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
He was another one.
No, who was the track star?
Carl Lewis.
Carl
Oh,
sang the
my-
national anthem, destroyed it.
But
Did
he couldn't
also
throw-
do
yeah.
But he couldn't throw
He
either.
couldn't throw a ball.
I'm wondering. 'cause
Any man who can't throw a ball, I just
Look,
I'm just
I'm not saying I was some great
What?
baseball player.
no, but you know how to throw a ball.
It's not that hard to throw a baseball 60 feet. But I want to ask you, is it like when you get on the mound, does
it's
something
nerves,
happen where it's
yes.
just like you can't? It's hard
It's
to
all
throw.
nerves,
All
man. It's
nerves.
all nerves.
There's 50,000 people up
it's
there.
It's not far at all. It's like pitch and catch, but your nerves. That's what it is. And for me, fortunately, my wheelhouse was playing in front of 70,000 people.
Right, so you were all right.
So I didn't care about that. My biggest issue was, man, let's throw a strike, man.
Right.
Hey,
so did you? You threw it? You threw a strike?
I didn't quite.
It was
throw
over
it.
the plate, though.
It was over the plate.
All right.
Do you remember this? I always say this. After 9/11, and then it was the World Series, and George Bush stepped up on the mound. Do you remember that?
Man,
And threw a
yes.
strike at
Did he?
Yankee Stadium.
Strike.
A strike. He was a minor league. He played minor league baseball.
He was a minor
But
league baseball
yeah,
player?
he was
I didn't know that.
I think he played baseball. I know he owned the Texas Rangers, but he
Yeah.
played baseball.
Okay.
But I was impressed.
But as a former minor leaguer,
I
you should have been
still,
able
at a
to throw,
50-some-odd-year-old man to just step up there, in a big moment, because this was after 9/11.
But I don't want to take anything away from him, but he's the president. Like, he's used to
and
the
Rob,
pressure.
Rob, check
You know,
that. Check,
I think he can handle it.
you're right. But it was just, it
But
was
no,
just,
that's
it makes you
impressive.
feel different about a person when
No
you see
doubt.
them do that.
Some of the guys, it's unbelievable.
Like after
some of these
50,
terrible
It's just
We were
flat out
like-
embarrassing.
You just wonder, dang, did dude have
Like-
any athletic bones in his
What-
body?
My
at all?
issue is like, if you know you can't throw,
Practice.
like
Or
forget
why?
that.
Don't do it.
Exactly. Don't accept it.
Don't do it.
Don't accept it. All right, let's get to some football, and then I really want to get your thoughts because Rob and I have been debating on some basketball stuff this week, and I want to get your.
It's
feelings.
actually been a slaughter. It's not a debate, but that's another story.
Look, man, don't be so hard on yourself. I haven't beaten you up that bad. All right, Jon Gruden. It's been a rough debut year with him, or return to Oakland as the head coach. And recently, before their game tonight, he sat down for an interview, and he said, here's what he said. Let's get the sound.
I got a cell phone just like you and everybody else. Right. And I get a lot of phone calls from people that are dying to come and play here. I'm just telling you, they're dying to play for the Raiders. Yeah. And to have salary cap space and to have a chance to talk to the people that you really want to wear the silver and black, the guys you really want to wear the silver and black and represent this team, that's exciting.
I just threw up in my mouth when he said that. Stop it.
Let me just set this. So you heard him, the guys you really want. So what he's implying is that all pro, all NFL type players are texting him, calling him, saying, "Hey, I want to play for the Raiders." I'm sorry, Greg. I just can't believe this. I can't believe it.
This is laughable. Like, this was Comic View. Like, are you kidding me right now? If that were the case, you guys wouldn't be in this predicament.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Like, if that were the case, you would be not only trading guys but acquiring guys because they all want to be a Raider. Like, man, come on,
But you know what? It's just like, it's the guy who's like, talking about, all these chicks want to get with me. Whenever somebody has to come out and like tell you that they're macking and everybody wants to be with them, you don't buy that.
Nah.
You don't have to say that.
It's like your
right?
boy. It's like
Come
your
on,
boy
man.
It's like your boy whose girlfriend always lived out of town.
Yeah. You can't never see her.
Exactly.
You ain't got no girlfriend, right? Exactly.
She always lived out of town. But yeah, so going for what are players around the league? What do you think players are thinking when they hear Jon Gruden?
I think he's really sticking his foot in his mouth because when all guys want, anyone really wants to be associated with, it's somebody who's going to give them truth. Whether we like it or not, we really do want someone to tell us the truth. We want something that's going to be fair, authentic, and real. And when I listen to Jon Gruden, when I hear him say guys like Khalil Mack, he didn't want to be here. He didn't want to be here. And then you say now we want the guys, right. We want our guys, we want guys who want to be here. Are you saying Amari Cooper didn't want to be here either? What are you saying? Because basically what you're saying, to your point that you just made, to the guys in your locker room, we want guys that we want to be here, our kind of guys that we want. What are these guys?
Right.
So nobody trusts you right now. So everybody's going out there. They will not win. They will not be successful. They're going to struggle. And everyone who comes in is going to listen to everyone who goes out because players talk. And he's making it hard on himself to acquire guys. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be something that guys entertain once they get to Vegas.
Money talks. Right.
Especially once they get to Vegas. Specifically young guys. But eventually – that ain't gonna cut it. That's not gonna cut it.
I think he's exposed himself. He really has. People get caught up when you can talk about a game on television. Matt Millen was another guy who talked a great game on television, got a GM job, with the lines with no experience, and what happened?
Oh, he was horrible.
Terrible. He might be the worst general manager ever in professional sports. Seriously. And I think Jon Gruden talked himself into this big contract. All it takes is one guy who likes
to believe in you,
right?
Absolutely.
All it takes is one guy gives him $100 million contract. That franchise doesn't even have money. Like they're struggling financially, but they gave Jon Gruden this whole big deal, and now to me, nobody expected them to be this bad. They're giving up almost 32 points a game. It's been bad.
It's because when you lose players like a Khalil Mack and you send off an Amari Cooper and you're doing all this, now everybody is like, am I next?
Right.
Like, where do I stand?
I mean, as great as those two,
exactly. There is no loyalty. There is no I can trust you right now. Bottom line, there is none of that. So everybody's walking into that facility not sure of their future there.
All right. Well, look, I know you love basketball, so we're going to get to some NBA talk with you. You know what you're talking about as well. Rob Parker and I were debating at the top of the show. He is saying after 8 games, after seeing LeBron James for the first 8 games of this season, LeBron James is no longer the best player in the world.
Kevin Durant, I'm going off of what I've seen. Father Time has caught up to LeBron James.
I'm going to tell you what else is caught up after you get done.
And let me tell you, did you see him? He's so shaky at the end. He's not a closer.
I'll just stop.
He's like a rickety screen door. Mice are coming in. Bugs are coming in. Butterflies are coming in. Everything. LeBron James can't close anything. Bricking free throws. He tried to cough that game up last night. He was lucky. One snuck in, and they happened to win.
I mean, if we gonna pass the blame to just LeBron. It was 2 other guys that stepped up to the free throw line, did the same thing before he did.
But LeBron,
Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, they both
here.
missed the first.
LeBron came here to change things.
I understand that,
and he hasn't done it, Greg, so far.
I think what I've noticed, and this may sound strange, they play too fast. Those young boys get up and down that court. They are running, and out west, that's what everybody does. It's not a half-court game. And every single night you got to play like that, he does not look the same.
And LeBron's always played. His teams have always been either middle of the pack or near the bottom.
Yes. And when you look at him and how he thrives, is he a great transition player? Yes, he is. He's always been his entire career. But when LeBron really can kill you, it's half-court sets in a slower tempoed game. That's not what they want to do. That's not who they are. When he is taken out of the game, them young boys be up and down that court running and gunning.
Yep.
And they look good. And he gets in, and it's like, how can I fit in? I got to run with him. I don't know if this is the right situational fit for LeBron's game. And I don't think, after watching last night, like, I don't really think that they're trying to – they want to build around LeBron, but I don't think he is like the center pillar. Okay, we need what LeBron needs. I don't think that's the case. When you're allowing guys to have their opportunity to close games, they want everybody to get a shot. They want everybody to be a viable option and get their shot to almost develop their confidence to where you don't always have to defer to LeBron in the clutch.
But what did they get him for? I get that. I'm not saying that I would never want to let somebody else get a chance at it, but there have been games this year LeBron could have sent a message to the Western Conference early on with some wins. Like the Lakers never beat Portland. They've lost like 16 in a row or something.
Yep.
That game was winnable. If LeBron would have won that, went up to Portland, hey, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Like the Lakers, LeBron showed us something. That didn't happen. There were a couple other games. I'm just looking at him, and I saw what Kevin Durant did. You could say poo-poo it all you want that it was the Knicks. He outscored the entire team in the fourth quarter of a close game.
Rob, when you look at the East, when LeBron was in the East, and you look at the West now, in the East, every time he stepped on the court, his opposition, they may not have had a guy that could just kill him. Like, I'm a killer too.
Right.
Just like you.
And they were half of the teams were afraid of him.
Exactly. Now,
Toronto. How about Toronto?
Every single time he steps on the court against a team in the West, they got somebody like we got one too.
It sounds like you agreeing with Rob.
So far,
what I've said is this, Greg.
So far,
I've said if he, and I've put this out on social media, if he continues to play like this, and other guys, Giannis, Anthony Davis, Durant, Steph, Kawhi, if they continue to play right, then eventually we're going to have to say he's no longer the best player in the world. But I'm not ready to say that after 8 games.
And I personally, I don't see why that's a problem. It's a problem.
No, it's going to happen sooner.
It's going to happen.
It happens to everybody.
It happens to everybody.
But if you're the Lakers,
you don't want to.
Right, you thought you were getting the best player in the world for the next 4 years, which you knew at some point during that 4 years it was going to happen. But see, if I'm a Lakers fan, I don't want LeBron coming here at the end for like a retirement tour. I'm going to be mad if I'm a Lakers fan and he fades like late this season and then it's just a decline from that point on.
I just don't think his passion and his competitive drive will allow him to ever do that. I don't think he'll just fade to black. But his minutes, they're going to have to make sure that they reduce them minutes.
I don't know that he'll let that happen. He played 38 last night. He's still, I don't know what he's averaging, but I bet you it's around 37 minutes a game.
That's a lot. That's too many minutes.
And
he'll be dead at the end of the season.
He's not going to let them take him out.
But the Lakers should have known when LeBron requested what he wanted for the pregame meal before every game.
Here you go.
I know. Here go. Get ready for the wine.
He's doing something.
Sodium-free bacon, decaf coffee, and a chest X-ray before.
Yeah, wine.
I hope you're not trying out your stage material.
Hey, you know I'm going to do a stand-up. I'm going to do 5 minutes.
Not if you keep up with these corny jokes.
Arsenio Hall is going to walk me on the stage and introduce me. I'm going to do it.
LeBron is averaging. LeBron is averaging a team high 36.4 minutes.
Yeah, it's too many minutes.
He's not going to let Luke take him out. So, we'll see. I mean, like I said, I think the verdict may be out this year on whether he's still the best player, but so far he's not off to the best start in the league.
And I don't have a problem whatsoever with the start that they've had because this is not some new thing. Yeah, every time he goes to a team, this is what happens.
Totally different. Totally different.
What, this is different?
This is different.
From when he first went back to Cleveland and when he went to Miami? How's it different?
He's older with kids and misfits. I'm telling you, if you just look at it, in this Western Conference, Greg, you start out 3-10, you might not make the playoffs. That's how tight the Western Conference is. You can't give away games. I don't believe
But you can't have a run. Portland, remember, it was last year, a few years ago. They started out horribly.
It's just
so the Rockets are they're done.
What?
The Rockets.
Yeah, but they have a track record that these guys don't have. That's why I'm not buying
LeBron
it.
has a track record.
Thank you, Chris.
LeBron don't have enough, not with those kids and cast-offs. You're really buying into that team that they put together?
I will.
They don't have any outside shooting. That team is not the Lakers aren't a good team.
I'll say this, right? It is a little different because in Miami and Cleveland,
Look who
you
had
had two
players.
other all-stars, and Dwayne Wade and Kyrie
know
were
those guys can
superstars.
play better.
Right, and you were in the East. So you did have some cushion.
Come on, give me that.
I'll give you that.
I'll give you that. But I think I'm not going to make a judgment after 8 games that LeBron.
I'm in the judgment
is no longer
business.
the
That's
best.
what I do. I'm in the judgment
You in the
business.
premature judgment.
You've been talking to my wife again, ex-wife again?
Look, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming, and there's nothing he can do about it coming. This
it is what it is. I mean, when Father Time's coming at some point.
bottom line.
You know
you
it.
can't, Chris.
It would be.
Does he not look different?
He does, but here's the thing. In 2014, remember when he first went back to Cleveland, he looked different. Then he took that trip to Miami for a few weeks, and he came back and he was killing. I'm just saying.
He went to Miami, and all of a sudden things just.
But
Make sure we edit that out.
He did
Elijah.
look. Look, I ain't saying nothing about what happened in Miami, but he took his couple weeks off and came back, and he was ready to ball.
What happened?
I don't know.
Maybe
Sunshine.
He went with Tom Brady that had the TB12.
You go out
and his witch doctor down there or something.
You go out to Miami and it's instant vitamin D.
right. Sunshine. Good times. Blame it on the boogie.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. He going old school.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
I remember that.
All right.
All right, Greg, man. Always a pleasure.
Are you leaving? Because I got one more thing to throw at you, NBA wise. Let me throw this at you. Yesterday, what were we talking about? I contend now, Greg.
Greg is not going with you.
Life,
Stop
and
it.
you were a point guard. My whole life, I've virtually my whole life.
Greg,
I've
this
said
is
Isaiah
blasphemy.
Thomas, the legend in Detroit, was the best small player of all time. Now I'm ready to say Steph Curry is the best small player of all time. Am I tripping?
Greg, look at him crazy. Look at him crazy.
Yeah.
Let me give you this list. Before you answer, let me give you this.
We only got 2 minutes here. So
Steph Curry, there are 8 players in NBA history who have won at least 2 MVP awards and 3 NBA championships.
Phony
Here's the
analytics
list.
stats.
Here's the list. Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan. Who's the other one I'm missing? Steph Curry. That's the list. There's one more.
I'm sorry, Chris. I can't give you that.
Why not?
I can't give you that because number one, it's 2 different eras, and I feel like the era that Isaiah Thomas did it in, it was so impressive.
yes,
It was so impressive. You can't look at the stars that and there were stars.
We don't have stars like that nowadays.
No.
They're all on his team.
Yes,
They're all with
thank
Steph.
you. They're all
Are
on
you
his
kidding me?
team.
LeBron James isn't on this team.
Please.
Now if you tell me that Steph can take away a couple of these guys and then he played with role players, which is what Isaiah did. They knew their role.
Joe Dumars is a Hall of Famer.
I love Joe D. That was my favorite player on the team.
Okay.
But outside of that, you had Dennis Rodman strictly rebound. He was active, could defend, and
Bill
could get you
Laimbeer.
points.
Hold on, Mark Aguirre was a 25-point scorer before he went to Detroit.
He was a scorer,
right?
and Vinny could heat up as well. So, but they had role players. These weren't like all-star guys that you just could count on leading the all-star voting every single year.
No doubt about
it. Like, come on, man. None of them were getting 50 points.
But hold on. Before KD went there, they had Klay Thompson, a low lottery pick, and Draymond Green, a second-round pick. All right, so they developed into what they became.
Did. I'm not knocking
with
that.
Steph.
I'm not at all knocking that, but it's still more talent to work with.
All right. You agree with Rob Parker. Both
My
of you guys
man.
are wrong.
No.
We got more NFL.